long enough to stop defending cringe Wahmen scene in Endgame. Would the be better? Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random 42 on a super duper time crunch because holidays and last minute weird changes. So if you see weird different backgrounds and sceneries and things for the next couple of weeks here, don't be alarmed. I will explain as we go. It's an adventure and you're all coming with me and I'm terrified. But you know what? I did buy myself the earbuds, so that might give you a clue. No, that gives you no clue. It'll be a surprise once we get there. What's not actually, no, this is kind of a surprise. It is a surprise that the mainstream media is now, not only are they calling out Endgame just a little bit, not as much as they should be, they're defending the Mandalorian. I know, right? It must be just the time of the year. You know, it must be a Wednesday. It must be just another Wednesday special event sort of thing. It must have something to do with the stars aligning with Jupiter and Saturn. Did you guys see that? I actually got to see that out of my skylight here at home, and it was really awe-inspiring, and it really, really made me, I want to thank you all for how lucky I have had it this year because of you guys. And thank you so much for supporting my channel and subscribing and liking the videos and sharing them. I really am very grateful for every single one of you out there. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. So Mandalorian does girl power better than the Avengers. No shit, Sherlock. We knew. I could have told you that. We all told you that. There was a meme. They're just copying memes. We talked about this last night in the High Council with Razor Fist and everybody. We had him as a special guest. Go check that out. This was a meme. This was a meme going around. What fans actually want and what the studios think we want. The studios think we want these cringe Wahmen lineup standing there saying, see, I'm not alone. I've got all my sisters because yay, ladies. And it's cringe. It is very cringe-worthy. You know what real women and real ladies and real females and real men even want to see in female characters? We want to see female characters that are inspirational, that are just cool characters regardless. Just give me what do they do in the thing? Is their only function their hoo-ha? Because if their only function is their hoo-ha, then you can give me much, much, much better ways of displaying that. 2 minutes in, we already got girl on girl making out stuff. That if that's all you're reducing us to is the gender, is to our parts, is to what you think we want as far as representation. No. We are much more than that. If I want to see a hot MMA fighter with giant guns blowing up stuff in the Mandalorian, then you know what? That's cool. That's awesome. Guys like that, girls like that. Even Baby Yoda's like that.
I'm out of ideas.
See? He says so. This is CBR. This is CBR. Says they actually have a woman writing it. Maybe she's like a reasonable, normal woman. Hopefully she's not one of those, those wackadoo ones. We don't want any more wackadoo Whamens out there. There's too many Mary Sues in the world. We need more normal, reasonable people. That's what people always want to say. Oh, representation, my backside. Representation is something that you can identify with in a character, and it is rarely a superficial BS garbage, only on the outside, something that doesn't matter because you were born with it, right? It is not something you develop. It is not how you go about your life in your day-to-day affairs. It isn't how decent you are to other people. It isn't how intelligent. Isn't how well you take care of your pets. It isn't how well you stand up for your friends and your family. It isn't how well you interact with others and how reasonable and compassionate you are. It has nothing to do with something just stupid and superficial. And one day Hollywood will actually realize that that's why we liked so many of these female characters from the past. And that's why we like characters like Cara Dune and don't like characters like Captain Marvel. Because Captain Marvel really was a giant epic fail at this whole Wahmen representation crap, because she just had a chip on her shoulder and was trying to get back at guys. That's what it really, really felt like. She came off very condescending, very rude, especially that grand theft scene where she stole the guy's motorcycle. Especially that. And really, that's not badass. And just because you saw Arnold Schwarzenegger freaking do it in The Terminator doesn't mean that you need to copy it. Okay? Warning, the following contains spoilers for Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 16, The Rescue, streaming on Disney+. I reacted to that. If you want to see that, I'll probably try and link it somewhere. Hopefully I can. Season 2 finale of The Mandalorian saw Din Djarin, I can't say his name, did I say it right, on the path to rescue Grogu, Baby Yoda. He was Baby Yoda for 2 years. I'm still going to call him Baby Yoda. From Moff Gideon. But he didn't take on the Imperial Cruiser and platoon of dark troopers all on his own. Well, they looked more like Cylons to me, but hey. He brought allies, Boba Fett, and yada yada. Mandalorian's Bo-Katan, who cares? The joining of these characters resulted in the Wahmen of the group forming their own heroine team, and together they attacked their opponents on the bridge of the Imperial Cruiser. The scene was reminiscent of the infamous girl power scene in the Avengers Endgame. Not really even noticeable, though. I didn't even notice it when I watched it, but then again, I was just kind of waiting, because I knew, well, spoiler, Luke was coming. I knew Luke was coming, and I wanted to see that in the context of the episode. So I was really, really more waiting and excited for that. And I guess that's how you do it for me. That's exactly how you need to do something like that for me. As a female viewer, you don't even if you want to just show this diverse representative cast of badass women, right? First off, you hired a great cast of women to do this. I mean, you've got Gina Carano, of course, gorgeous, strong, amazing, and a good representation of somebody you want to aspire to be. I don't look like her, but, because I see her, I'm actually doing a little bit more to try and... I'll never be in her shape, but, you can aspire to be, and that's good representation, and that's positive representation. And she's a strong-minded person. She's not one of these mindless herds of sheep out there, and I'm not going to show you the clip. I show it to you a million times over. We got things to do. And I don't have to look like the characters for representation. You don't have to see a physical mirror of yourself. Because representation is something you can aspire to be. Of course, you got Ming-Na Wen. She was great in everything she was good in Stargate Universe. And Stargate Universe was terrible. And I'm a huge Stargate fan. Katie Sackhoff, another amazing, strong... I hate using the word strong woman. But, coming from Battlestar Galactica, being one of the actual decent and made sense in the story, sort of... gender swap. It was Wokemon before it was a Wokemon thing. It was pre-Wokemon.
Are you a white girl that screams for diversity out of guilt? Can't enjoy anything unless you see yourself represented? Wokemon. Wokemon is a great way to show how totally not racist and sexist you really are. Everyone wants to be hired based on their gender or skin color. Now you can be the center of the universe. See yourself on screen. Be the star of your own fanfiction. Be the bestest ever by stealing valor, worshipped by everyone.
I bypassed the hero's journey.
And executives, Wokemon is a great way to show how totally not racist and sexist you really are. And don't worry, if it doesn't work, you can always fail upwards. Wokemon, gotta represent them all.
And by pre-Wokemon, I mean before they were doing it just for quotas. Before they were doing this because, oh, hey, this would make a really interesting plot choice if we did this, because then we can go in this direction with the character. And they don't think of that so many times. They don't ever think of why it's going to add or benefit the story. And then you get crap, and then you get these, oh, well, you just want to see a bunch of women standing there and saying, look, sisters, yay. No, we don't. Because that's not how women act. Women are hanging out with the men just the same. They're hanging out with the same activities. If your circle of friends are all tabletop gamers, you're going to have men and women tabletop gamers. All in the same circle. Same thing goes with if you're into sports ball, if you're into video games, if you're into anime, any of that stuff. You're going to have, that's how, do they think this is the 1950s? They must think it's the 1950s where people are actually segregating by, oh, well, those are the men watch the football or whatever. No, because men will most likely choose a partner who's going to at least have something in common with them, so they'll be hanging out together. That's just ridiculous that they think, I'm ranting too much, and I know things to do. Time. However, The Mandalorian portrayed its group of women warriors in a far more natural way, maintaining the integrity of the story, whereas Endgame did not. Yeah, they were all over the battlefield. Where did they all come from? They just magically all converged together. No, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even. At least these characters were together on the same little teeny area. Mandalorian pulled off the female-centered moment much better than the Avengers Endgame because there was no overt attention drawn to the fact that it was supposed to be a girl power scene. Yeah, like, I didn't even notice it. That's how you do it. You make it so you don't even notice. Instead, the Mandalorian subtly drew the group together without it feeling as though the women were mere tokens. I'm agreeing with CBR. It must be, that time of year. The plan to rescue Grogu involved Boba Fett acting as an antistic pursuer of an Imperial ship piloted by Bo-Katan, who traveled with Casca, Fennec, Cara, and Din. Star Wars names. I'm not stumbling over them. Yay. I always do, and that's one of those things. I grew up with Star Wars. I've watched it my entire life. I always stumble on names. At that point, the women exited. They began their assault on the cruiser with their sights set on the bridge, where they hoped to find Moff Gideon. The plan did not exactly work out as intended. Moff Gideon knew there was something suspicious happening, and he positioned himself between Grogu and Din. Meanwhile, on the bridge, the women worked together to impressively take control of the ship. In this sequence, Mandalorian showed powerful and capable women warriors without it feeling disingenuous or forced or interrupting the plot. And of course, now we did talk about this a little bit yesterday, how this is only going to keep Kathleen Kennedy in her job. But you know what? If you can actually show some, hey, we get it, some growth, some sense of, yes, we understand why you're upset, then, I don't have that much of an issue with keeping somebody. They're just, I don't know what to say. You guys are gonna be mad whatever I say. Ew. Also, we'll just focus on, the elephant in the room, and her hair looks much more flattering in other scenarios.
Wank.
In contrast, the A-Force, or as I call it, the TNA Force, or, okay, I'll just cancel myself. Well, moving on. Endgame missed the nuance in that scene that the Mandalorian had. In Endgame, girl power slowed the pace and felt disconnected from the flow of the film as a whole. Marvel has been rightly criticized for its lack of female-centered movies, and its TNA Force sequence felt like a panicked response to that, reeking of a publicity stunt. Oh, it was. It was just one of these cringe little memes. It was a meme. It was marketed as a meme. That's why they wrote it. These movies are just made to meme. While the women of the Avengers were strong, capable fighters, just like the women in Mandalorian, the Endgame scene did not actually highlight that. Instead, it cheapens the characters. Strong female characters are well written and contribute to the story. Through both the plot and emotional resonance, Avengers Endgame lacked this entirely, and its attempt to spotlight its female characters came off as just disingenuous. We actually went over that. You already said that a couple of times. So they must be having, very little to talk about. I mean, maybe they're just waiting and biding their time until we can talk about Wonder Woman. So yeah, I actually really, really agree with this. And, kudos to her for having a good positive art. I agree with an article and not rail on it. So I am MechaRandom42. I will see you guys on the next video, live stream, or wherever. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
Get out! Get out of my space!